Good evening, good evening. Welcome to Interesting Talks with Footprints. Hopefully, you're in a good place and your glass is half full rather than half empty. I recently had somebody said to me, what does half full rather than half empty mean? So I'll just explain it. Maybe other people don't know as well. So you got an opportunity in life to look at your life as half good or half bad, half going well or half going wrong. So when I say your glass is half full rather than half empty, and you can top it back up no matter where you are in life, it's simply to say, hopefully, you're looking at your life or your life is going in a way that it's more positive than it is negative. It's just that's what it means. Okay. So here we are. Today we're going to be talking about increasing your emotional intelligence. That leads to better communication with people, better relationships with yourself, and puts you in a much even keel going through life. And of course, when you have a lot of emotional upset, it affects your physical health as well as your mental health. And a lot of us just don't get that, forget about it, don't take it importantly. But it's something to consider. So here we go. So to increase your emotional intelligence, you need self-awareness. Self-awareness is as straightforward as it sounds, but it's not always easy to implicate. So tracing your emotions in a self-monitoring journal and practicing mindfulness in and how you're feeling. So with a journal, you're going to write down how you're feeling, particular parts of the day. Labeling your emotions with tools like emotional wheel will expand your emotional vocabulary, and you notice variations in your feelings. But trying to do this without writing it down will be extremely difficult because we've got so much stuff going on in our heads constantly. So that's going to affect what you can remember of how you felt and what caused you to feel the way you do. So being aware, you need the help of a journal to keep track of your emotions when you experience strong feelings, positive or negative. Write them down. Date the time and the situation that it was in. For example, I was in a lift and everybody pressed the button and I went above my floor. I was really angry and I was late for a very important meeting. That's contextual, why you was angry, what you was doing, and what was going on for you. Key things, put it in a journal, then you can see how that's affected you and possibly what you can do and what you didn't do about it. Date and time of the situation. Your thoughts at the time of the situation. What were you thinking? What was you going through? It's very important. Bodily sensations, your heart rate, your temperature, and muscle tension. Because sometimes, well, not all, sometimes, a lot of the time when we're feeling tense and anxious about stuff, we actually can feel it in our bodies as well. So feel the emotional intensity, 1 to 100. So that gives you a good variation. From 1 to 100, you've got a lot of figures that you can pick out how emotionally intense it was for you. Usage, did you avoid the situation or did you go into the situation? Again, how much did you do that? It's 1 to 100 again on that to find out how intense the emotion was for you and what did you do about the emotion. Actions you could consider, actions you took or actions you avoided. Write those down. So you've got a clear context of did you take what action you took, what actions you could have taken, but you decided to avoid it. Right. This is the next section, which is a new way to respond to your emotions. Self-talk. If anybody's been following this station for some time, you would have heard of me talking about our self-talk. Very, very important for corrective behavior or to analyze that behavior. Talk to yourself. Possibly talk in your head. If you want, you can talk out loud. People do talk nowadays on their mobile phones and people are talking and sometimes you wonder, oh, who are you talking to? Have you lost it? But so therefore, don't feel embarrassed if you need to give yourself a self-talk to get yourself out of a compromising situation or to calm your mood. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. So such a self-talk could be, I don't need a beer. I can do 20 push-ups. I'm upset. I'll take a breath before speaking to keep my tone calm. So you could do there's lots of breathing exercises out there that you could use to calm yourself down. Listen to what's ever been said or what's going on for you, then respond in a very calm tone. You responding in a calm tone can bring down the angst of whatever's going on. So that's definitely you can certainly do. Here are some other grounding techniques. Taking a few slow breaths. We've spoken about that already. Pressing on a pressure point. Pressure points are like your wrists, parts around your neck, different parts of your body. You can discover more pressure points and just put your thumb on them or your finger on them and allow yourself to calm down. Twisting the ringer on your finger. If you've got a ring on your finger, you can twist it. And that can be sort of like a comforter, and it can also help you to ground yourself. Looking at a calming image on your phone. Look at, you can scroll through and look through waterfalls. I find water very, very relaxing. So if I look at water, waterfall, a river, or the sea, I'm calm. Whatever yours go-to is, have it. Other things that can ground you, this is in the form of touch, a warm bath, a massage, petting an animal, petting a dog. Some people have dogs. They find it very, very comfortable. Some people say man's best friend is a dog, or a woman's best friend is a dog, depending on how you would like to see that. Taste, hot tea, fresh fruit, comfort food, or even coffee. Smell, flowers, candles, baked bread. I love the smell of baked bread in the morning. Coffee is another one, obviously. Sight, nature, art, sweet, sunset, sunrise, family photographs. All of these things can be used to help you to ground yourself. Now, as your self-awareness grows, your emotional regulation improves. You become less reactive and more grounded. You can only be okay for others if you're okay for yourself. You have to take care of yourself first before you start taking care of others. This applies easily. A place to remember this is when you go on a plane and they say if the oxygen level drops in the cabin and the oxygen mask comes down from above your head, put your oxygen mask on first before you help anybody else next to you. And that's true, because you can't help anybody else unless you've taken care of your own needs. So, last but not least, begin with awareness, keep a journal, track your emotions. When the experience is feeling strong, write about it. When a positive one, if it's a negative one, write it down also. The date, time, situation, your thoughts at the time, bodily sensations, your heart rate, your temperature, and any tensions in your muscles, any parts of your body. The emotional intensity, 1 to 100. Urge to avoid the situation, 1 to 100 again. So hopefully this will give you some opportunities to look at some stuff, some practical stuff that works, to help you improve your emotional intelligence, so that you are more in control of what happens to you rather than things happening to you and you're out of control. Because people can press your buttons and you can be very much out of control, and later on it's going to be used to your detriment because you've been doing things that you would not have done if you was in control of your emotions better and certainly in control of your actions better. So it's 2 weeks' time. Try to stay positive. Leave comments, share these videos. Tell me how you have improved your emotional intelligence. And it's 2 weeks' time. Try to stay positive. Bye for now.